3.
This is 5 Tons of Guns back with you, and my name is Casey. Today we're going to talk about the set guns and spring guns and trap guns, and they go by a few other names. But what we're talking about is what the trappers have used in North America, you know, in the early 1800s. The first patent, I'll give you a little bit of history, not too much. This is going to be a part one of 2 videos because we got a little bit to cover, and for now I want to give you a brief history and not too much. But the first patent was 1857, made by Mr. Ruth, R-E-A-U-T-H-E, I believe. And then these were mainly trappers' guns, which were pretty much chambered for a smaller caliber cartridge, like a .38. Most of them were .38 until .22 come out, and the Sure Shot, when that was invented in 1913, why after that, why they went with .22. So this particular one is a 12 gauge, and it's not listed anywhere. They originate back to the poaching days as an anti-poaching device. Then they evolved into anti-burglary devices. People would put them on their windows or their doors, where when it opened up, why it would fire a bullet. So anyway, you know the history back then. But what we're going to be talking about is the trapper model. And I want to give you some little histories on these. There were various models. This particular model does not have any markings on it of the maker or where it originated at. It came out of Utah, out of an abandoned homestead where the barn was fallen down, and it was up on the upper sill plate where you could see it, and that's where this was picked up. I want to get a little bit of history here on these things before we start our video, our next video, number 2, kind of bring you up to speed. There's not a lot of information out on these, and I first read about them and learned about them in the 70s. And they had the Gun Digest and the Shooter's Bible, and they were about that thick and had good articles in there. And, you know, it was something you got every year, you know, like for Christmas, you get one of those. And in one of those was an article about the trip gun, trap gun, anti-poacher gun, mainly about they were employing it mainly as an anti-poacher device. But it was a really very interesting article, and I looked around for it, and I cannot find it to this day, and I wish that they had some archival stuff that I could go through. I could find that article, but it was very interesting, and that's when I first learned of these. Anyway, this is an unknown origin from Utah, and here's some examples of some different ones. You've got the top one here, which is the Sure Shot, patented in 1913, 1914, and they sold a lot of those that were very popular. And by the way, using these devices, you know, they were outlawed back in the 30s. People kind of started getting some common sense about them, and you know, unsuspecting. I would hate to be an unsuspecting person and run across these. The earliest patent is the Ruth, 1857. I believe that's it right there. And I don't know much about it, but the most popular one was the Sure Shot. And it would fire the 38 or the, you know, later on, I believe the 22. So we're going to lay these out at the end of this video, and very soon is going to get a good close-up of everything, including this. Here's another advertisement for the Sure Shot. Get that critter. I like these old advertisements. Now these were put in like the catalog for the St. Louis Fur Company back then, which were buying furs. I think back then like a beaver pelt would go for like $3. I don't know how much that would be nowadays, but back then I feel that was probably a lot of money. Here's my favorite one, the Sure Shot, and you can see how it's working. They've got a coyote or a wolf there, and they're $3.80 a piece, or you can buy them for a dozen. And the ammo, you know, whether you want shot or if you want ball ammo, why they're $1 a box for 50. This is after 1913. So anyway, we're going to lay all this out, and tomorrow we're going to give you the specifics on this particular trap gun. There's like 5 different items here that are kind of like forensic to me, that tells me that this is the real thing. There are or have been fakes and replicas of these trapper guns. I'm not sure whether this one is one or not, but I know that it has been used, and I'll show you on this next video some of the little things that indicate to me that it has been used. And I'll show you how to load it, and some of the dangerous aspects of this. It is black powder. We know it's from the black powder era. And it did. Here's a 12 gauge shotgun shell, which would be, it's all brass. And this is representative of probably what they would be using in this trap gun. It's black powder. On the head stamp it says REM, which is Remington, dash UMC, which is United Metallic Cartridge Company. And then across the middle it says number, and then over here it says 12. And then on the bottom it says best. But this is probably what they would have been using back then in this particular trapper gun. So, next video we'll show you all about this, and I have a lot of questions. I'd like to know where it come from, where it's made. I suspect that being that there are so many of these that were made that are unmarked and unknown, they had to have been like made in a local area where one man knocked them all out. And it shows some crude castings on it, but it also shows some pretty good workmanship, especially on the barrel. And I want to go over that with you also. So that will be it for today, and we're wishing you a good Friday night. Bye-bye.
Blessings, y'all.